Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome along to the Royal Link Up podcast, episode number 12. We are coming to you live. First ever live podcast, broadcast on Twitch. And hopefully, we'll be able to get some live sessions more in the future, both on Twitch and TikTok as well. Um, we've got an interesting episode for you today. We're going to be covering my review on Ark Ascended, Ark Survival Ascended, even. We're going to be covering some new PC games coming out in August 2024. And also any questions that you guys have live, we will also be answering them live. For those of you who are not au fait with the Raw Link Up, let me give you a quick rundown of what the Link Up is. So the Link Up is something which started 26 years ago. It is a group of friends, so myself, Devastate, and there's probably, I would say, probably 15 to 20 other people. And we come together every year for a week. We take our PCs, we take our desks, we take our chairs round to one of our houses, we connect them all up via a LAN, and we play PC games all week and order takeaway 2-3 times a day. And we've been doing that for 26 years. This year was the 26th year. It was a fantastic week. I'm sure you'll agree, Devastate.
Yes.
And yeah, we've been doing it a very long time. It's something that we thoroughly enjoy. We thoroughly look forward to it each year. And Devastate and I came up with the idea to put a podcast together so that we could not only talk about the link up and engage with you our viewers, but also discuss other elements of gaming going on in the gaming world at any given period, and also go live on Twitch like we are this evening. So welcome along. Hope you're all well. Hope you
Welcome
all had
to
a very good week.
absolutely scorching weather in the UK as well. It has absolutely been roasting today.
It has indeed. I've been working in this office all day, and I've got the garage door open behind me just to get some cool air in here. And yeah, it feels like summer started, but it's only going to last another week, and then the rain's going to return. So
Of course.
um,
Yes.
fairly standard, fairly standard. Um, so, hopefully everyone has got to see last week's episode of the podcast with Vedic. I thought it was genuinely one of the best ones yet. I was speaking to Rage midweek, and he was very much a big fan of the podcast episode that we did with Vedic for sure. So hopefully you've all caught that. If you haven't, make sure you go watch it on demand. I'm going to talk about Ark Survival Ascended because I've been playing it a good not 3 solid weeks, but I've done sort of 3 weeks worth of gaming on it now. Previously I did get it, but my old PC didn't really run it very well. So I've got a new PC and a 4K monitor, so it's much more capable of running it. In terms of game itself, I think it is. I mean, firstly, from a visual perspective, it is absolutely stunning. Like genuinely, it is absolutely stunning to look at. So much so, I was playing it with my son, and he said, "Daddy, it's like the dinosaurs are in your screen." Which,
Amazing.
yeah, it just looks stunning. Like the water is amazing. The detail and texture on the water is fantastic. The detail and texture on the dinos is fantastic. In terms of gameplay itself, it is mildly similar, but there's new dinos in there. There's
And just to
new
interrupt you, for anyone who's not aware of what Ark, the original, or what this game is, can you give a brief synopsis of it?
Yeah. So, Ark Survival Evolved is a survival game where you are essentially thrown onto an island, completely naked, and you have to survive. So you have to harvest and forage and build. So you've got to harvest and forage food, water, get materials to build shelter, to build weapons, to build clothing, and you've also got dinosaurs thrown in the mix. So you can tame dinosaurs. You can put weapons platforms on brontosauruses, for example, and there's all the sorts of weapons that you would find in a normal shooting type game. Um, It's a very, very fun game. You can do it single player, and you can also do it PvP as well. Genuinely, I've only played it single player or on a server where it's everyone's being friendly. But from what I see on a PvP perspective, it does look a lot of fun. But I think you have to be able to put the hours into it to justify playing it PvP, because otherwise you just won't be able to keep up with the other players. But yeah, in terms of the game itself, single player, it's definitely a lot quicker in terms of leveling up. I've only been playing it for what I would class a short amount of time, and I'm already up to level I think 60. Whereas I remember playing the old Ark Survival Evolved, you would have to be grinding for days and weeks to go up levels when you get to sort of that level. So leveling up is definitely a lot quicker than Ark Survival Evolved. Um, in terms of the dinos themselves, they're pretty similar in terms of what they do. There's a few new dinos in there, ones which I haven't even. I saw one the other day, and it just looked like a massive wasp, but it was absolutely enormous, and it scared the absolute bejesus out of me because it attacked me in the middle of the night, and then I was able to shine a torch on it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's as big as like a Rex, essentially." Um, the levels seem to be a lot lower. I don't really see many high level dinos in the game on a regular basis. I'm never really seeing anything above sort of a 20 or a 30, whereas I would frequently see like level 150s from any dino perspective. But I think all round it's a really good game. I've got it on Xbox Games Pass. Xbox Games Pass, $8.99 a month. I mean, I just don't see how you can go wrong with Xbox Game Pass for $8.99 or $7.99 a month, whatever it is, and you get access to all the games. So, if you want to try it out, get Xbox Games Pass. You can probably try Xbox Games Pass out for £1 for a month and see what it's like. Highly recommend Ark Survival Ascended if you have a really good PC, and if you've got a 4K monitor, even better because it looks stunning.
What would you
Yeah,
say the sort of the real core main difference between this and the previous one?
graphics for
So
me,
it
just
is purely almost like a graphics upgrade rather
yeah,
than.
there's new there's obviously new dinos on there.
But in terms of gameplay, it's about the
It's
same.
fairly yeah, it's fairly similar. It's fairly similar. But
Okay.
honestly, just from a visual, obviously Arc 2 is coming out at some point in the relatively near future. It's been touted towards the end of this year, but I
So
can't
what's the
see it.
difference with Arc 2 then to
So
this one?
Arc 2 is going to be, I think there's basically going to be like clans and tribes
Okay.
and like humans in the game as well. From the trailers and stuff that I've seen, it does again look very visually good. I don't know what the difference in gameplay is going to be like, but at the moment, when Arc 2 comes out, I will be getting it.
Yep.
At whatever point it does come out, I think it'll be a really good game again. The trailers that I have seen does look very, very good. But yeah, in terms of the main difference for me is the visual quality. Honestly just looking and playing on it. And I streamed on TikTok I think last weekend, or weekend before last, sorry, and it just looked absolutely stunning as a game.
Yeah, it just seems a bit weird that they've launched this sort of new Arc and then launching Arc 2 a bit later on down the line. Like
Yeah,
literally very close together. Is it
yeah. I mean,
almost like this is like a test of graphics before the new one comes out, or is it?
yeah, could be.
Okay.
Genuinely don't know. I think Art 2 there's going to be a lot more different elements from a gameplay perspective to have a go at. And I think visually it would probably be uh, the same, if not better, than Ark Survival Ascended. But like genuinely, if you want to appreciate Ark Survival Ascended, I think you've got to have the not only the PC but also the monitor to justify buying it, because I don't think realistically if you're running a 1080p monitor, it's really worth getting, if I'm honest. But again, if you got Xbox Games Pass, it's essentially part of the package anyway. So why would you not? What have you been playing this week, Devastate?
I am still on the First Ascendant.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so yeah, just playing that at the moment. Quite liking it. Um, it's very average, but I'm just gonna
very
get it done. I've sort of I feel that I've given up on Once Human
yeah,
just because. So for those of you who don't know, Once Human have a run a season pass system, a season, but at the end of every season, the season lasts 6 weeks. Basically, 90% of your stuff gets deleted.
Oh, it's just like a wipe every 6 weeks.
Basically, yeah. And it's like,
Oh
why
wow.
am I doing all this grind work? And I think I've got like 3 weeks left of the 3 weeks left of it. And I was like, I can't be bothered to do it. Now, it is something that I was watching Pirate Software the other day, who had a discussion with the devs, and it sounds like that they're going to alleviate some of the pain points about it, because like, why am I going to put all this effort into doing all these missions, doing all of this stuff? Because you can't,
Yeah.
they're not going to be able to get brand new content out every 6 weeks. I mean, that's impossible in a massive world map. So it's like, what's the point in the wipe in certain scenarios? So no, I'm gonna finish First Descendants, and then yes, I'm gonna look for something else to play. I might visit Once Human again. In 1 or 2 months. I think it's quite nice. Acidic Virus has been playing it. Looks he's got further than me now, and he's been playing it on his stream, um, and it looks good. I'm just still not sure. I feel it feels that it needs to be a bit more of it's more of a multiplayer game,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and like I don't really get the point of the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, I think it's got all the potential to be really really good. And then it's like any of these live service games that in 6 months, in a year, stuff can be changed around. You look at how bad Cyberpunk was when it came out, and then you look at it not too long ago, and it was actually a vastly playable, enjoyable game. So I think we're in a scenario where I think Once Human will carry on, will develop, and after it's developed, then we'll probably give it another go. But wait and see.
Indeed, indeed. I've been playing League of Legends a lot this week. I
Okay.
say this week, in the last week. I try and do 1 to 2 ranked games every day. Haven't had a chance today, been too busy work-wise, but yeah, I still love League of Legends. I try and play ranked at least once or twice a day. It's a very good game, still is. And yeah, really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. And Tina's just commented in the chat saying, "Hope I heard you all had a great time this weekend. We did indeed. Myself, Devastate, and Acidic Virus went horse racing. So we weren't racing horses ourselves. We went to go and watch a horse racing event. I don't think a horse would be able to take my weight, given
Neither
my
mine, mate. Me
uh,
neither.
but no, we had a very very good
Yeah,
afternoon.
and there
There you
was
go.
a slightly drunken YouTube short put up
Indeed.
during the racing. So yes, it was a lovely day. Great to get back together with the boys in person. It's the first time, I think. Beep, is that first time we met up since the link up?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
um,
And that's the thing. Like, I think when we were younger, we would see each other a lot more regularly. But now we're all 40 or so. We don't generally get to physically see each other. Obviously, like me and Devastate, we're on a fantasy football WhatsApp group, and there's a lot of banter on there as soon as the football begins, etc. So we speak to each other on a regular basis, but we don't physically see each other, if that makes sense.
Um, do you want to go through some? And we're basically at the end of July. It'll be the 30th of July when this comes out on YouTube, and the 31st it comes out on, of course, like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We were going to talk about some upcoming game releases for August. Um, so if you want,
Indeed.
do you want to chuck some names out, and then we can maybe have a little bit of a discussion and
Yeah, I
talk
mean,
about them, if we know
uh,
what they are.
yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the list. I'm on PC Gamer. I'm looking at the list of games coming out, and I don't recognize I think pretty much all of them. Star Wars Outlaws, which is an open world scum and villainy.
Yes, I think
Have you
that's
heard of?
the Ubisoft game. Do you remember I did a rant about 2 months ago about that about the pricing, and it was like,
Yeah,
do you remember? And it was like they had this price, this date, this price for 3 days early, this price. It was all the way up to like 100 and some odd quid. Um, Ubisoft are getting a lot of flack at the moment for everything, aren't they? So
yeah.
um,
I mean, the base game is £60 on Epic.
yeah,
It does look very good. I'm just looking at some of the images, some of the trailers and stuff. It does look. I mean, from an open world perspective, it looks very, very, very nice.
yeah.
Um, but again, yeah, they're pushing the oh my days, the Star Wars Outlaws Ultimate Edition. Have a guess what your price
Now
is.
I have a now this. I think it's one of two prices of mine. I think I've got 119.99, $120,
114.99 pounds. That's like
140.
100
Okay.
130 $140 for the ultimate edition. So you get to play up to 3 days early, which includes the base game, the season pass, two cosmetic bundles, and a digital art book. I mean,
What? Oh, a
so
load of
you don't
crap.
actually get anything physical.
Nothing
Like it just goes
physical.
back to the yeah, it just goes back to the discussion we were having on the podcast with Ace a while back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That like when Ace and I used to get the Halo games, you'd get the Master Chief helmet, and the game would be in the helmet, and then get to keep the helmet, and it's a great piece to then like put on your shelf or somewhere in your bedroom or on your mantelpiece or something. Whereas now it's just all digital, and you're like, I mean, why? I mean, but I don't know. I don't know about our younger viewers and listeners, but for me, getting up extra digital stuff, it's not really that much of an appeal. If you said, oh, you could get a only Ultimate Edition Star Wars memorabilia piece, and it would be delivered to you in the post, yeah, I'd probably be a little bit more
Yeah.
considerated towards it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I am just so sick and tired of almost every game releasing exactly the same game, and charging people a fortune to have it a couple of days earlier, or adding something to the game that is just a digital tick mark that adds no real value to your experience. And like, it's going to be a trend that goes goes on forever because everyone's just adopted this mindset of how we have to spend at a minimum 60 quid on a game, um, or £100 with a few little DLC bits that are already in the game. So it's not DLC; it's already in the game.
Yeah, it's
So
already in the second game. It's just you're paying more to access it, aren't you?
yeah. So yeah, this is the trend that's never going away. EA are ruthless with it. Um, you've got Ubisoft that are doing it. You've got every game, all the big game publishers do it now. So it's a trend that we're just never gonna ever get away from.
Yeah, yeah. Just looking at a couple of other games. Creatures of Ava or Creatures of Ava. It's a gentle creature collector game. Again, releasing on the 7th of August. It I mean, it looks all right. It looks a little bit, in my words, Fortnite-esque. But it's an action adventure creature saver game. Understand and tame the creatures of Ava and let them lead you through a variety of ecosystems, all in the hopes of saving the planet from a life-consuming infection. I mean, it looks okay.
It's not going to be one
Nothing.
that we probably play, though, is it, Beef?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This one sounds fun. Farewell North. Do you want to cry about dogs?
About
Um,
dogs.
Dogs. Restore colour to the desolate islands of Farewell North, an atmospheric journey where you play as a border collie on an adventure with your human, explore land and sea, uncover hidden paths and free wildlife to bring back colour to her world, while revealing an emotional story about saying farewell. Oh my days. How are people making games like this?
Now,
Like,
I mean, ultimately, we're in a world where people's machines PCs have the ability, like the indie world, the indie development scene is thriving right now. So you can make a game about whatever you want to make a game about. And if you want to make a game about a border collie doing some stuff, then like
it's
all
got
power to you.
awards.
What award
It's
did
got
he get?
loads of awards. Oh my days.
Right, let's have a look at
Yeah,
this. I've got the
I'm still.
audio off. I don't need to listen to the audio.
No, we don't need to listen to the audio.
I mean, it's a bit okay. Yeah, that does look a bit basic. Okay. I mean, it's okay.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what goes through a dev's mind to create a game where you're being a border collie to get color back into the world. I mean, it almost sounds like someone's taken a lot of illegal substances and decided, I'm going to make a game about a dog bringing color to the world.
Yeah. Um, although I will not be surprised to see acidic virus playing this on stream.
World of Goo 2.
Ooh, ooh. Now,
World of...
correct me if I'm wrong. Now, I think that's the game that I played the first. No, that was another something of Goo that I played. I mean, well, the original's got is a 9 out of 10 and a 90% Metacritic rating,
Jeez.
and it
Right.
came
I'm
out in
looking at...
2008. The original. So, I
Well,
mean,
it's only taken 16 years to create the next version. Um, discover new species of goo, all with mysterious new properties. So you route its flow like a river, convert it into goo balls, extinguish fires, and solve puzzles. Okay, so it's basically just like playing with goo and then doing like missions with goo to a certain degree. I mean, again, it's not a game for me, but I kind of see I can kind of see the appeal to it. But yeah, it's
is
definitely...
it a game for children?
Oh yeah, 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 definitely
Okay,
by the looks of it. Right, let's pick one more. Um, oh god,
must
there
be.
are truly shocking. Zelda meets Kiki's Delivery Service. Mika and the Witch. Oh jeez. Oh no. And I'm not even going to look at that. There's just some. Oh my days. Um, Streets of Rogue 2. Celebrating pixel art games.
That's okay. Our logo's pixel art. No, that like amateur
Oh,
pixel
I
art.
mean,
But is it just like Streets of Rage?
no, it's worse. It's like top down. You remember when GTA 3 came from? Oh no, sorry, no, GTA 1.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of GTA 1. Um, right. Thank
Right, okay.
goodness you're here. Delightful English slap former game. What on earth is that? Oh no. Thank goodness you're here. In an absurd comedy slapformer set in the bizarre northern English town of Barnsworth, as a travelling salesman, take the time to see the sights and meet the locals, who are very eager to give you a series of interestingly odd jobs. Oh my days!
I
Like,
mean that's probably one for Masanui.
I mean, that's just another bin job. Absolutely another bin job for
Okay,
sure.
so what we've established is,
There's
well, it
nothing
sounds
coming
like there's
out.
nothing coming out in August.
I
Now
mean, the
I
Star
know
Wars,
Aug.
Star Wars game,
Yeah,
like looks pretty good.
yeah, it's okay. We'll wait and see. We'll wait for the reviews to come in on that one. But yeah, I mean, August is always a really weird time for the games industry. Like it's the meant to be traditionally the hottest time of the year. People are away on summer holidays. it's always a dangerous time to release games in August.
Also you got Q4, haven't you? So from a business perspective, the developers and the publishers, they want loads of people to buy the games for Christmas in the
Mm,
run up to the Black Friday sales as well. So they want people and parents and people to purchase the consoles or the PCs as it would be, and buy the games off the back of that in the run up to Christmas as gifts for their people whoever is a gamer. So it kind of makes sense from a timing perspective. But yeah, that list of games is absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking.
I am feeling. Once the first sentence, I'll leave once you're alone. I think I'm going to stream Sea of Thieves again.
Yeah, see if these. I think we should. I should think we should stream Sins of the Solar Empire.
Oh yeah. Oh definitely.
100%. Like particularly like if I can get it, if we can, you can stream on Twitch, and I'll do it on TikTok Studio or TikTok Live. People can see like honestly how good it looks on my setup.
Yeah.
But also you can see how terribly bad we are at the game as well. But then everyone can get a feel for why myself, Devastate, Vedic, and a few others think that the new Sins was the best game of the link up this year by a country mile.
Yeah. I
Country mile.
certainly agree. Okay, so what I would love to do, I'm just going to quickly pause there. If we've got any of our viewers that are watching now, want to go ask any questions, anything you want our opinion on, anything you want us to react to.
To redo the rankings. I mean, you can. I mean, you're only going to go down, Rage, if I'm honest. I can't see you going up.
Um, no, I mean, if anything, I'm probably swapping you and Lex around.
Oh dear. He says, I'm off the list then in that case. I mean, I'm an accomplished gamer. I'm a very accomplished gamer. I'm one of the greatest snipers you've ever seen. Um, League of Legends, I mean, I'm the highest rank in ranked of all of us. I mean, there's not much more to say. I mean, the case is closed on that one. I mean, if anything, I should be going up. I mean,
No. In all seriousness, though, and this is something that I think that would both be really interested to do at next year's link up, and I think adds a bit of a competitive edge, is doing some form of like tracked ranking system. So of all the
or
games,
competition.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
or
of all
competition.
the games we play, actively, definitively finding out who the best gamer is, and they at the end of the week get crowned the Royal Link Up champion that year,
Yeah.
and then they could actually have a proper crown.
Yeah, I think you
We
do it
might.
with
We'll try and get a sponsor for that. We'll try and get a sponsored crown. Maybe like Intel want to sponsor us a crown or AMD.
yeah,
Um,
that would be good.
but yeah, so I think if other people and the people who are watching this on YouTube, if you can write in the comments if that's the sort of thing that you want to see, because I think that will add. Now that you're starting to see more and more of the gamers, like you've met Rage, you've met AV, you've met Ace, you've met Massanevra. So now that you're starting to meet all these people and actually getting a sense of who they are, it created that competition-ish element, and we can have an updated public scoreboard on Twitter, so that gets updated at the end of every night, or something like I don't know, like the golf. If you ever see like the live golf leaderboards,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like you
yeah.
just see like moving up and down. I think that that's. I really do think there's something in that, and just tracking performance, games played.
Yeah, because I think it has to be done across an array of game types,
100%.
so that it doesn't cover like just FPS or just RTS. So you have to have. I would think we would do a few RTS games, a few FPS games, a few driving games, a few maybe like Chivalry 2, like
Yeah,
games like that. I'm thinking obviously golf with your friends. I'd win that. That's a given. A golf game PGA Tour 2K24,
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh, so that game
Um,
will be out next. So it comes out every 2 years. Apparently, there was one in development
right.
for next year.
Yeah,
Um.
beat 'em up as well, Rage. A beat 'em
Yeah.
up for
So I
sure.
think we can. I think we
Racing
could.
game.
Yeah, but I also think you have to play. I think you almost have to play all the games.
Oh yeah, no, you can't not be in the competition if you don't play all the games.
Yep. So
Yeah,
that does
because then
mean
it's
some. That means some sins, Rage.
yeah, and then I think because then we can almost go right, okay, and we'd have to obviously agree this beforehand. We'd have to agree right if you're playing, I don't know, Sins for example. For first place, you get I don't know 5 points or whatever it is.
Hmm.
Second five, sorry, second three, third one, and then anything else you don't get any points or whatever the point system is. And then it has to be like uniform across all the games. So if
Yeah,
you come first in
I
all,
think we can develop like a certain scoring mechanism. Um, so just for everyone watching on YouTube or listening, so Rage, one of the gamers, has asked, "Are we all going to play League of Legends then?" And so I think there's a couple of questions. Either it's all the games that are played during the week, or it's actually one game per day or 2 games per day are designated competitive.
yeah,
So it might be that one game of Sins is counted during the whole week. One game of, let's call it I don't know, Tekken is one game of Rainbow Six Sieges. Now, if you then don't play, you have the choice not to play, but you automatically score 0.
yeah,
So we do 2 competitive games a day. So that would, if you did that over 5 days, that's in fact we'd have potentially 12 games over 6 days.
yeah,
There are 12 gamers, so every gamer gets to pick their game.
yeah. I think
So
that's
so
fair.
each gamer picks one game, and the games get divided up across the week. And then so that gives at least everyone in their mind a chance of getting maximum points within that game. And then each game we work out some sort of organized scoring system. But I think that really would work well,
Yep.
um, and it would actually prove, and it doesn't. It's not subjective. It's not my opinion. The facts uh, will speak for themselves, and yeah, and then you know what's going to happen though. You know there's going to be a points draw at the end of it. We're going to have like a decider.
We'll have a press up off.
Yeah, well, okay. Um, yeah, so I think that is something that I think that's something that would really add to the engagement as well. I'm gonna try next year to maybe vlog like it. So
Yeah.
wake up,
Day
camera
in
to
the life.
me,
Yeah.
that day in the life of every time at a gamer, and then I can literally just go cut into one quick video and upload that first thing when I arrive at the venue the following day. I
Yeah.
think that'd be
Yeah.
quite a good overview. You'll get some more behind the scenes content, some more organic conversations, some more sort of immediate thoughts and feelings that I'll give on particular games, and you'll hear some other stuff from some of the other gamers. So I think that's quite a nice idea as well to create some additional content.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I think I'll be well up for that as well.
Looking back, like obviously the link up was being sort of a month ago. Looking back, are there any things that you think that we obviously did the podcast straight after the event, and we had some very immediate thoughts. But looking back now, like after a month of reflection, is there anything that you would really change?
Um, I'd still like to play more racing games.
Yeah,
Um, and not the like Sonic All Star Racing, not those. I'm talking like actual like racing games. I don't know what though because I don't actually play any. But this games I always the game genre that I always used to love, and I was always really good at it as well, which I think definitely helps. I
What
think.
I mean, so if you've got Game Pass, I mean, sure, there's got to be like a Forza Horizon, a
Oh yeah,
Forza
yeah,
on
yeah,
there that we could
yeah,
play.
yeah. There'll be loads on that. And that's the thing. That's a good thing about something like Game Pass is we can get it for the week, and for most people, it's only going to cost you £8, and then you get access to all those games for a week, and then you just cancel it after towards the end of that month, and you get access to all those games for a week for basically hardly any money at all, which is like from just a link up perspective, like fantastic value. Um, yeah, I think that.
Got a
I think
question coming from Tina on the live stream saying, I know it was just at the time the idea of a live podcast. I think was a good one. If you can work out the logistics, do you think you can try to do that again in the future? And I can say to that, Tina, absolutely. So we actually had the equipment there ready to do it, and it was just really unfortunate that Beefy come down with the sea bug at the time, that we weren't able to do it. So we were set ready to go live, and Beefy was just too ill.
yeah,
So I was trying to get someone on standby, but when we do it in this scenario, it's quite easy. It's like I'm front of my computer, Beavy's in front of his. We have a guest on, and I can manually do all of this as well as talk. We had one of a good friend of the guys at the Link Up, brought round some really expensive audio equipment. So I had a big mixing board, I had like these expensive microphones, I had all of that set up. I had that all sort of tested, prepped, so that we could facilitate being outside and doing the podcast live outside. We're covering set up, all of it ready to go. So it in terms of making it work, I think it would have been fine. It becomes a bit of a strenuous on me to a certain extent, because I'm going to have to be, as I do in this, I'm controlling the audio levels, I'm controlling a lot of the stuff behind the scenes. So I think what will end up happening is when we do that, I want to do that again, will be that I will probably not be on the podcast at all, if not for like 5 minutes, because then in the
yeah,
background I'll be controlling all of the old audio, all of the audio settings, just to make sure balance. Because the scenario we want is that some people come in every 5 or 10 minutes, and they can just add their own spin into it, and it becomes a very organic, very fluid conversation. So dealing with multiple different audio levels and stuff is something that we really wanted to do. We will be looking to do it again next year.
yeah. And then Tina's also said old games as well. She said it was great to hear me playing 7 Days to Die as a new player, and I think playing a game that a lot of the rest of the Link Up crew had played extensively before as a new player was, yeah, I think it was challenging. But I don't know how old 7 Days to Die is. I would guess.
11 years old.
I mean, it looked 11 years old
So
from a
it's
graphics.
so it was 11 years old, and it came out of beta the week before the link.
I mean, that's a long time developing a game.
That is 11 years in beta. Yes.
Was an 11-year-old developing it for 11 years? If it's taken that long. I mean, I thought the game, like, yeah, it looked like it was 11 years old, but I think as a gameplay, I think it was pretty good. I think, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. The zombies were fairly realistic as well, and it was like particularly if you're running around in the night, it is scary, particularly if you're playing it in the dark as well. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty good game. Can't really fault. I can't not fault it, but not fault it. But yeah, it was. I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10, something like that. I thought it was all right.
Nice. So I don't own it. Amazingly enough, I've never played it.
So
Um,
I owned it. I obviously bought it however many years ago, but
yeah,
never actually played it. So I've had it on my Steam account for God knows how many years, but never really played it. And I mean, there's probably a bunch of games I've got on my Steam account which I've never actually played, which I've actually bought and downloaded.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm exactly the same. Yeah, I felt that people it's interesting to hear you play it in that way because obviously I've just gone. Well, everyone's played it for so long. I don't really need to play it, but I suppose it'd probably be quite a fresh game for me to play if
Mm.
I went and played it now. But I'll be so far behind. But
Okay.
the thing is, to all of our listeners that, and Vedic touched on it in last week's episode that after the link up, people get engrossed in one of these style games. And years gone by, it's been like Rust or Ark, and this year it is 7 Days to Die, and everyone has come away playing it, um, and then they'll move away, go and rinse something out of V-Rise, and then we'll have a private server of 7 days that we go back to and stuff, and it lasts for about 6 to 8 weeks, and then
Yep.
it sort of meanders onto other games.
Yeah, and that's happened after every link up for as long as I can remember.
Hmm.
The game of the link up was then played extensively for, as Devastate said, a few weeks after the link up, and it's absolutely rinsed. And then we just move on to something else. But then there'll always be games which um, several people will just go back to. So for like me and Rage, um, it's League of Legends. We can always go back to League of Legends and play ARAMs till the cows come home. Um, and personally, for me, I'd probably play League of Legends every day. Really enjoy it. But at the same time, it's how much gameplay time do I have? Me personally, I don't have a lot of gameplay time. Today, I've had none. Literally, I've been so busy with work today. I was working till just before we started recording and went live on the podcast tonight. So, very long day. And then tomorrow, again, I'm off to my warehouse tomorrow, so no time for that either. So, my next gaming session is going to be Wednesday evening. Wednesday evening, probably. So yeah, I think it just depends on how much gaming time you get.
Yeah. I've got a question coming that have we thought about incorporating prior link videos or trailers edited for previous records? So, for everyone who doesn't know, and 99.9% of our population, so we've actually made link up videos, I think, since 2007,
I
2008.
want to say like late tens, wasn't it?
Oh, I think so. But they're going back like ancient. Now the problem with those is that they were only ever um they're
For
made
us,
for the time. They're made for us. They include a lot of either people who are not around us anymore, and they include heavily copyrighted music. So it
yeah,
might be something that we end up. I may put a compilation together of some of the content with some music that we can do, some royalty free music, and then we could. Oh, I'm thinking out loud here. If I
oh,
make
bit
a,
dangerous.
I know. How about if I manage to get them all together,
Oh, you won't be able
get
to
them
do all of them.
into.
There's too many.
No, no, I know where they all are. Get them all together, sort the audio out, and then we can do a react live on the podcast, live on Twitch,
Yeah, I'll be well up for that because. So
and
just
we
bear
can
in
give
mind,
some
like,
we can give some context. But they're going to have to be just to make sure everyone aware. They have to be heavily edited. Some of them contain people's addresses, phone door numbers, people who have
families.
families. So yes, there's a lot of stuff that we'll need to edit. But yes,
Yeah,
I think it would be absolutely hilarious for us to do a react to like this video.
yeah.
Right, well, I think that is it. I think we are out of time, Beef.
Indeed, indeed. Well, thank you all for listening, watching. Those who are live now, much appreciated being on on the live first ever broadcast of the Royal Link Up podcast live on Twitch. Thank you those who are listening or watching on demand. We would love it if you would drop a like and a subscribe. That's most appreciated indeed. Any feedback, drop it in the comments as usual. Otherwise, yes. Thank you, everyone. I've been your host, the amazing Sniper Beef. I've been joined by...
It's been Devastate. Have a good one, peeps. Goodbye.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.